welcome to Good Day Oregon Home and Garden. I'm your host, David Schmidtke. You know, you're watching the region's only local weekly home improvement show designed specifically for your Oregon and Southwest Washington home. Today, we're at Cathedral Park in North Portland, a beautiful place with a rich history. More about the park later. For now, I want to talk to you about something pretty serious. You know, I don't like to hype you, but this next subject is very serious. In fact, for many of us, we have a silent killer lurking in our home. It's called radon. We're in a basement in Northeast Portland. You know, you can't see it, you can't smell it, but in this basement there is radon. And radon can kill you over time. To talk about radon and how do we get rid of it is this guy, Don Francis with EcoTech. Don, you guys are doing a job here, radon mediation, right?
Right, radon mitigation.
Okay, that's the right word to say. Right now we're breathing radon.
We are.
Now, how does a homeowner, if they're curious about this, where do they start with this whole process?
Well, the EPA recommends that every house in the United States be tested for radon because every house has radon. But the question is, how high is the radon? So people should test their homes. Mm-hmm. It's the only way of knowing if they have a radon problem or not.
At this Northeast Portland home, there is a problem. There's 3 times the acceptable level of radon. So this EcoTech crew is installing a system to solve the problem.
We're going to install a fan on the outside of the house. There's a suction pipe that comes to the inside, and then it goes through a hole in the basement floor. And what we want to do is create a vacuum underneath the basement floor so that we intercept the radon, pull it up through the pipes, and then discharge it outside. So it keeps most of the radon from coming up into the house.
Radon is a naturally occurring radioactive gas that is prevalent in parts of the Northwest. Across the U.S., 21,000 people die from radon-caused lung cancer every year.
If I were told today that I was going to die, and I didn't know the day I was going to die, but I was going to die, I don't know how I would handle it. And he handled it with such grace.
Marlene McEwen knows all too well the trauma radon can cause. Her husband, Bob, was 49 when he died from lung cancer. He never smoked, and shortly after his diagnosis, she tested their home, a home her father built, and found that it contained extremely high levels of radon.
There's 2 things that I would like to see happen. One is I would like to see insurance companies add a chest x-ray to a normal physical. That's not paid for by the insurance companies now. It's an extra cost, and I pay for that myself out of pocket every year, so I can have, you know, security and know and comfort. The other issue is I'd like to see radon testing as an actual mandatory part of home inspection. It's not now. It's totally at the buyer's discretion. Some buyers don't even know what it is.
Testing is inexpensive, about $30, and radon is completely detectable.
You open the radon test kit up,
okay.
Expose it to the air in the home, and then just place it someplace, leave it undisturbed. And again, they have pretty good instructions. Let it sit for 2 to 4 days, seal it back up, close it back up, and mail it to the lab, and then they will send back the lab results to the property owner.
Now, I'm curious, we're in a basement. So does this radon problem only happen in basements and only in older homes?
Well, any house can have a high radon level. It can be a new home, an old home, slab on grade, basement, crawl space. Any house can have high radon. Houses with basements will have the highest radon level in the basement because that's the lowest level in the house. And since the radon's coming up from the ground, it'll be in the lowest level.
That's why EcoTech installs this, well, kind of fancy version of a vacuum cleaner.
That's the suction fan. That's the inline fan. Some people call them air pumps, and that's what creates the vacuum underneath the foundation of the house via the piping. And then the pipe will be installed up the side of the house, and then the radon will be discharged outside where it doesn't come back in the house.
All right, sucked right out, run up, go through the roof right up there, and then we're good to go.
Straightforward and effective.
And then do you test again to make sure you're under the peak of
The homeowner will test again once the system's running for at least a day, and just to confirm it's working as designed.
Great, all right. Now, the cost. The average mitigation job, like what you see here, $1,500 to $2,100. Not bad, considering the alternative could be fatal.